In the year 2014, in the United States, on a given night, there were over 500,000 people who could be considered homeless, and 200,000 of those people were part of a family. How is it that in a country with medical and technological advances and the resources to help our people, this is still an issue? Martin Donahoe, in his paper on homelessness, notes that the issue has largely been ignored by the mainstream press and that the numbers continue to grow. So who are the homeless? What is the definition of the word homeless? And what type of people are homeless? I would suggest there are three aspects to the homeless situation in our country, and that would be the reasons for homelessness, the diversity of the homeless population, and the types of homelessness. Some of the reasons for homelessness include a lack of resources, a lack of affordable health care, a lack of affordable housing, and the inability to keep or maintain a job that pays enough in order to live. It seems that the population of homeless people are often forced to choose whether to live in a home or live with someone else or not have a home at all. Mental illness, when largely ignored, also contributes to the reasons for homelessness. I volunteer once a week at the Salvation Army, and there's a large population of homeless men that come in on a regular basis. And one of those is named Johnny. And Johnny used to live with his mom. He took care of her full time. She was very sick. He had what he claims to have been a normal life. And his mom ended up passing away. And without the resources to maintain his home, maintain a job, accompanied by his mental illness, he now lives on the street. And though he can still take care of himself, it is clear in speaking to him every week that his mental illness has not been addressed and he is not taking care of that aspect in his life. And though that may not have contributed to the whole problem of his homelessness, it certainly was a factor. So there are different reasons for homelessness. And often we have biases, and we believe that people can choose to not be homeless and that they have access to the resources to have a home, but this is not always the case. We also have a makeup of population that varies as far as homelessness, and the homeless population is very diverse. We have families, we have youth, and you have individual adults. We also have veterans, which make up 9.5% of the homeless population according to the NAEH 2014 report. So it's a very diverse population, and it's not always, as we picture it, a man sleeping in a box on the side of the road, especially because the types of homelessness are as diverse as the population. There's the sheltered homelessness, a family or an individual that lives in a shelter, whether that's a community shelter, whether they live with their family, whether they live in a temporary situation, that is still considered homeless. We have the unsheltered population, which is individuals like Johnny that live outside, have nowhere to go. And then there's also the chronic population, which is a continual cycle through their lifetime of being homeless. So we have these varied reasons for being homeless. We have varied populations of people, and we have differences in the definitions of homelessness. This issue is very real in our communities across the United States, and it's not something we should ignore. It's not something we should approach with a judgmental attitude. It's not something that we should approach in our pride and claim that we have the answers. But when we know that it's an issue, then we can help to be a part of